Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. It's interesting because I was looking at the word Thanksgiving yesterday and kind of receiving different energies from it. It was definitely that space of thankfulness. Um, and then also realizing the other part of it is giving, like, so being thankful and giving. And so, for the two of you who are on, and then anybody else who's listening later, you consider yourself a grateful or a thankful person. And um, within that, it's interesting because if you're thankful and grateful, it indicates that you've actually received. And I just find that an interesting conundrum when so many people, including myself, have said that we struggle receiving. You cannot be grateful if you have not been receiving. And so today, what if you took a moment and acknowledged yourself for the immensity of receiving that you've already received, as well as the immensity of giving that you've done, and that it's this cyclical, almost symbiotic energy that comes and goes, and truly it's the energy that gives life to things. Like if you know yourself as a giver, you know how fulfilling it is to be acknowledged that you even have something to give that is worth something that for another person to receive, whether it's your attention, your service, your quality of time, gifts, whatever it is. There's something so affirming inside of you that somebody else thinks that you have the capacity to show up in such a way that they desire to receive. That, right? This space is a constant invitation and a challenge for me, myself anyway, to become a greater receiver. Because if I receive that much acknowledgement and recognition and warm fuzzies when somebody else receives from me, why wouldn't I joyfully give it to someone else? In their face, right? So sometimes we can be grateful or thankful for how someone else has shown up, or that they've even shown up in our world, and we do it subtly and quietly. What if we started to get a little bit more loud about our gratitude? Our gratitude, there's a few, like I know Lori and Mary mentioned that they're going to totally different houses. Like, so they're not with their nuclear family this year. They're with friends. And sometimes we can go into a space of wrongness about ourselves, or sadness or regret, that has to be the case. And what if we just said, like, oh my gosh, I'm extending the holiday. And so maybe today I'm so grateful for these amazing people that are inviting me into their house, and they're not doing it from a space of oh gosh, what is that word? I don't know. I'm sure you guys are getting it and I can't think of it. Like, they're not doing it for that person. Like, they want you there. Like, they're so grateful. It's a gift to themselves to be there. And so to be in that space of so much gratitude that people see the gift to themselves by inviting you into their house, and that you can extend this holiday and any other holiday to as many days as you desire. You don't have to make Thanksgiving on a Thursday. It can be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you want. I remember way back when I used to live in England, and we moved back in, I think, 2003. And we did Christmas in March because that was when we could get everyone together. And so we obviously still celebrated Christmas on Christmas, But we extended it all the way to the month of March and like did a whole bunch of different days and decorated the house and everything. And so, are you willing to really craft your entire life in a way that serves you, that excites you, that blesses you and everyone around you with such fluidity and joy? Um, and the other thing I just want to say is I totally honor, and you guys know from the other days that we've done, I honor emotions. Like there's such something so powerful about every emotion. And if you get to know me longer, like I am such an advocate for every single emotion showing up. I have a really deep and loving relationship with anger and sadness and the gifts that they bring. This is what I would say for today though. If there's sadness coming up, allow it to come completely up. Like, don't hinder it so that it remains with you the entire day and gets in the way of the joy or the connection or the intimacy that would like to arrive later. So get all in. Like, so if you're sad, allow yourself to like immerse yourself in it, honor what the sadness is. And I'll give you guys, sadness is really this invitation for an intimacy with self and a nurturing with self that was not existing before the moment of sadness, right? And so how can you nurture yourself in those moments of sadness, even regret, so that you can absolutely embrace that entire moment, allow it to move through your body, and allow your body to be open for the next sensation, emotion, experience, and receiving that desires to show up for you. Okay. The other thing I want to give, hi Lori, hi Mary, is that, do anything on that. So the other thing I want to give is that we are all like, so hopefully Mary and Laura, you can go back and listen from the beginning because I was talking about the meaning of Thanksgiving and receiving and things. So Thanksgiving, thankful is that whole energy that we're grateful. And so if you call yourself a grateful person, that means you are absolutely receiving. But I want to say too that we all have a receiving that comes all the time. And so sometimes we're receiving things that aren't in a contribution or alignment with us. And so we tend to like start to put up blocks that we talked about on I think the first day, that whole protection. But instead, if we just move to the space of higher gratitude for the things that are showing up that we love, asking questions for the energy, okay? And this is what I truly mean, the energy of what you're looking for. And so if you're looking for deeper intimacy or connection or more support, ask for that, really look, like literally speak it out loud. Like, what would it take to have more support? And then I don't know which Lori is on right now, but one of the Loris posted in her own page that she signed up for like grocery delivery. And it is a sense of receiving, right? There's all kinds of different kinds of receiving. Some of it we choose and we allow it to come in. And they even carried it all the way upstairs and it was super easy for her. So there's different ways. Sometimes it shows up and it's free. Like it's the way that somebody looks at you. And are you willing to like pull your eyes up so that you can actually receive it? How many of us have people that look at us with that sense of love and we drop our eyes because it's so intimate and so powerful that it's almost too vulnerable to receive? Like, would you be willing to challenge yourself to acknowledge their space of acknowledgement and validation, that you're somebody that they want to look at with that? And if you have people in your life that show up differently than that, are you willing to just acknowledge that that doesn't work for you and that they may be coming out of a space of their own lack in themselves and their own lack of self-love, and challenge yourself to get into even deeper self-love with yourself. Because as we do the self-love, we start to emanate this light that invites people past their place of sadness and emptiness and disconnection, because we start to be it rather than tell it, right? How many of you guys have had people who they tell you all kinds of things, but they're not actually being it? And I can only say that there's times in my own life that I am that for myself. And so I'm constantly the challenge to myself to not be someone who I say to myself, like, you need to do this, or like, this would be really good. Like, my body will speak and say, you know, today you need to rest. And it's like, no, 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 I'm going to keep on going. I want to be the person to myself that I honor what my body is asking for. I honor the insanity that my life delivers to me, and the insanity of the way that my creative expression shows up. And what I mean by that is, I'm so not linear. I don't know about you, but I'm so not the linear creator. I tend to be chaotic and create more things at one time than logically anybody should. And then I will go into periods of time where like it's complete silence. And the more that I acknowledge that that's the way that I actually work the most productively and powerfully, the more fun I can have with the chaotic creative explosion times, as well as the times where things go quiet. And instead of making myself wrong in either side of the times, I can really enjoy the fact that as I look back on my life, it always creates. So what would you like to acknowledge about yourself today? From a space of receiving rather than giving, because I'm guessing that all of you on here are amazing givers, and you could immediately come up with something where you give. How have you been a gracious receiver that has actually amplified somebody else's sense of themselves, and it has blessed both of you because of the receiving? Right? So how would you like to acknowledge yourself for how you've received and blessed somebody else's life by receiving? And you might even, write out what the receiving was. And the coolest thing is when you start to acknowledge that, you're gonna let the universe know that you would like more of it, and you will start to draw in more of that kind of energy. It may not look the same. You may not even get the same kind of receiving, but it will be that nurturing sense of both of you feeling risen up into yourselves by the simultaneous gifting and receiving. All right. I hope you guys have a magical Thanksgiving. May it be a space where you're extremely grateful for all that has come before you, that others have given you, and that all that you have given throughout your entire life to become the person that you are today, that is loved and needed in this world. So thank you. And, may the day show you even more of who you are and more of how many people adore you. So thanks so much for showing up, and I hope you have a great day.